What's happening? John from Long Island punk band Wrecked. It is Wednesday, February 16th. Hard to believe we're halfway through February already. A little bit of band news. First, we have 3 gigs coming up. March 11th at Shakers in Oakdale. We're gonna open up a punk and not really punk, more like a hardcore show, hardcore metal. My boy Eddie's band Become One invited us to open the show. They're one of the best hardcore bands, Long Island hardcore bands or otherwise, that you'll see. So it's gonna be a great show, and I'm honored to play that. Then next up we have April 1st at One Eye Jackson, Beth Page. I don't know much about that one, but details to follow. And then finally, after all these years, we're playing the Mr. Beery's Cystic Fibrosis benefit on April 23rd, and it's an honor for me to play it. And I've been wanting to play that thing for years. I played years and years. I'm talking about 1997. I played there, and it was sort of to benefit cystic fibrosis, but it wasn't called anything. It wasn't official, but Beery's, they do it every year, and I'm very happy to be able to do it this year. So those are the 3 dates. With this video, I want to do something a little different. Again, I have five records like every other video, but these are records that I'm listening to now. Most of my listening is done at the gym or on the way to work. Most of it at the gym, but so I figured I'd just come up with the 5 that I'm listening to now that I have vinyl copies of and talk about them. So let me go with the first one. It's one of my favorite bands of all time. Dropkick Murphys Blackout. This is from 2003 on Hellcat Records. Dropkick Murphys are an Irish punk band from Boston. I first became aware of them in probably late 2000, and I took right to it. I mean, they had just catchy songs, great hooks, great choruses. They had bagpipes. They played some traditional Irish music, but punk versions of them, and they were a great band. They had a run of great albums too, from I think 98, 97, 98, all the way through to this one. This is 03, like I said. The one after this was Warriors Code, which was good. We had some good ones on it. And then after that was Meanest of Times, which had some good ones on it too. After that, for me, it coincided with their, when they had the song in The Departed, Shipping Up to Boston. That kind of gave them a name, and they kind of changed a little bit from a punk band to a more of a family-friendly rock and roll band, which, hey, you're making money, God bless you, but not for me. I like the older stuff, so, whatever. I saw them on this tour more than a few times, and they were great. This guy right here, Mark Orrell, he was a guitar player with the Les Paul. He left the band, I think, the album after this, and to me, that was the beginning of the end, because he brought a young energy to them, a punk energy to them, and between him and James Lynch, who's still in the band, on the other guitar, they really sounded great. On this album, you have Walk Away, the Worker song, Black Velvet Band, Blackout Tonight, Buried Alive, Dirty Glass, Fields of Athenry, Time to Go, Kiss Me, I'm Shit-Faced. I mean, out of the 14 songs, I think 14 are good, but those are my favorites. Murphys, and as far as I'm concerned, they brought Irish punk to the forefront of punk music, and you had other bands that I became aware of after that, the Tossers and Real Mackenzies, Flogging Molly, stuff like that. So but Murphys will always have a place in my heart, man, because these guys could bring it. And like I said, their first 4 albums are money, really. And I strongly suggest Dropkick Murphys. Next up, listen to this almost every day at the gym. This is the Crumbsuckers, Beast on My Back. This is 1988 on Combat Records. This is a Long Island band, or Long Island, if you consider Queens and Brooklyn Long Island, which I do. It's Long Island. I can't say much about the Crumbsuckers. They had, I think, 2 albums, Life of Dreams and then this one. This one was more of a crossover direction. I don't know if you know what crossover is. Very quickly, a lot of the hardcore bands of the early 80s started mixing thrash metal into their sounds and heavy metal into their sounds. So they called it crossover punk, crossover hardcore, and these guys were one of them. The guitar players were nasty on this. You have Chuck Lenahan and Robbie Kobler. Gary Mescal on the bass, that's him right there. He went to form Propane with this guy, Dan Richardson. These 2 guys formed Propane after the Crumbsuckers broke up. Chris Notaro, I don't know what happened to him, but he was a great vocalist. Real unique style, almost like Agnostic Front type style. I liked him. I don't know what happened to him, though. But yeah, Dan Richardson, he left Propane, ended up joining Life of Agony for their 3rd album, Soul Searching Sun. But this is a burner. Every song's good on this, and I strongly suggest it. One weird thing about this, I see it was mixed. The final mix at up in Bearsville, New York, by Genya Raven. Genya Raven's I mean, she has a connection to the New York scene, but I mean, not hardcore. But I don't know. She's great. She's one of my favorite vocalists, Genya Raven. But yeah, it was just odd that I saw that. I was like, wow. Mescal, I think he's from Baldwin originally, so that's a couple of towns over from here. But yeah, great record. Check it out. Beast on My Back by the Crumbsuckers. Next is another one I play at the gym every day, or every time I'm at the gym at least. I've talked about these guys a million times. Napalm Death, From Enslavement to Obliteration. This is also 1988 on Earache Records. I really can't say much about this. This is they also have a demo called From Enslavement to Obliteration, but this is the LP, and you have this is their second full length after Scum. The second release with this lineup, you have Lee Dorian on the vocals, who went on to form Cathedral. Bill Steer on the guitar went on to form Carcass. Shane Embury is still in the band, and Mick Harris, he did some stuff after that, I think Scorn or something like that, but I didn't really check him out. But this has a million fucking songs on it, and it pretty much takes over where Scum left off, you know, fast grindcore. I mean, they started getting a little more into death metal and a little more into progressive stuff because of Bill Steer. You know, he formed Carcass, and if you haven't checked Carcass out, they're one of the best. But again, every song's good. Standouts would be Worlds Apart, would be Mentally Murdered, Musclehead, I like that one. Morbid Deceiver. What's the other one I liked? Unchallenged Hate, I like that one. So yeah, I strongly suggest. I mean, you can't go wrong with any of the old Napalm Death, but I mean, they had such a prolific career. I mean, they've been around for almost 40 years. So I mean, and with a ton of lineup changes, I've spoken about this. So it's tough to know what you're getting with Napalm Death, but you know, From Enslavement to Obliteration is my favorite, and it's a constant for me at the gym. All right, next up, here's a band I just saw last week at the Prudential Center, Ghost. This is Ghost's second full length, which this came out in, Jesus, I'm getting blind, right? 2013 on whatever record label this is. I can't read it, sorry. You have to look it up. But 2013 is their second one. I saw them on this tour at Webster Hall, and they were phenomenal. I mean, if you know, Ghost, they started off as a real mysterious act, you know, no charisma. They would just go up on stage, stand still with masks on, and just play the songs. The style was like a Merciful Fate, almost like a Blue Oyster Cult, you know, very not heavy like fast heavy, very mid-tempo, but very doomy and very spooky stuff. And this album, like I said, their second album, they continued that path, and this is great. It's got Year Zero, which they did live the other night. I think that was the only one they did off this. But this has got a lot of great tracks on it. Gula, the Zombie Queen, is one of my favorites too. Depth of Satan's Eyes. I mean, it's real satanic, real evil stuff. You know, tongue in cheek, but hey, what can you ask for? They're great. And it was a great show this past Thursday, and I enjoyed it. But check Ghost out if you're into Merciful Fate, if you're into, you know, early Iron Maiden, you know, it's real 70s doom almost, 80s doom. I mean, but they've really changed their sound over the years for more of a modern sound, which I don't go get with, you know. I like the sort of the retro vibe of this album and the first one. I forget the name of the first one, but it has looks like a Salem's Lot movie poster. Very good. And all right. Here's the last one. And again, this is something I'm into right now. The Ramones, Road to Ruin. This is from, Jesus, what year is this from? I don't even know. It even has it on here. 1978, Sire Records. This is sort of started the for me I don't want to say the decline of the Ramones, but the first couple of records, you know, the Rocket to Russia. The first album, I mean, they were so great, and then, you know, kind of went off. So I avoided some of their older stuff. This has Marky Ramone on the drums. If Tommy had left, but Tommy was the kind of like the engine of that band. He still went on. He still produced them. I mean, I think he produced this record. Yeah, he produced this record. But I don't know. Marky's a great drummer. Don't get me wrong. But something in the sauce, something in the recipe, you know, was changed for me. But it does have the biggest hit, I Want to Be Sedated, on it. It's got She's the One, which is great. It's a Long Way Back to Germany. It's a great song. Needles and Pins, which is a cover, but that's a great song. And then, yeah, to me, it kind of, maybe the songwriting kind of went down, but every time I hear a Ramones song from the later years that I avoided, I'm like, holy shit, I never heard that song before. So then I go and check what album it's on. It's usually on a later record. So that's my thing now. I'm going to the later records of the Ramones to try to find some gems, and who knows, maybe I will find some, you know. But yeah, those are the 5 records of what I'm listening to now, whether it be at the gym or on the way to work, way home from work. So yeah, that's it. I'm gonna try to keep doing stuff like this, keep it a little bit fresh. So look out for the next video, hopefully next week or so. But until then, March 11th, Shakers. April 1st at One Eye Jackson Bethpage, and April 23rd at Mr. Beery's for the cystic fibrosis benefit. And that card is stacked with bands. Scappository's playing, you can't go wrong with that. Pilot Program's playing, you can't go wrong with them. That's only the 2 that I saw. It's going to be a great day, and I really can't wait for it, because it's going to be a great time. And I'm honored to be playing it. You know, details to follow and all that stuff. So stay tuned for that. Have a great night, and thank you for watching the video.